Hey, this is Drake here. I was coming back with another First Descendant video. I had put together a Hailey build, and there's probably so many of them on the internet that nobody will even watch it, but I did it a little differently. I set her up as a gunner build instead of a skill build, which she's a very good skill build, but honestly I just kind of wanted more of a build that would put out great damage against basically anything that you took it up against, not being limited to stuff that was just weak to chill damage to get the optimum output. But I mean, what we're working around, and we'll summon in an enemy here, is just the fact that she can get, if you've got a built gun, she can basically get your critical hit rate on your gun up to 100% basically all the time, as long as you have MP to maintain it. And let's get some bullets here. And of course it works best with something with like Enduring Legacy, something with a high DPS count. But what we're basically going off of is her, I guess that would be her third ability. And what this does, if I can get it on it, is basically gives you 40% more critical hit rate once you reach 16 stacks. And at 16 stacks you get skill critical hit damage increase and firearm critical hit damage increase. So you just tends to do good for anything that's hitting a lot of critical hits. And it seems to be that way it works. Like I said, it adds 40% at max stacks. And for some reason PlayStation is glitchy right now. It won't show it in the stats of the gun for some reason. As you can see, our Enduring Legacy here is at 30.7%. Well, the 40% she adds is to base. It's before multiplier, so it jacks this up to 70%. And then, whoops, we're getting an extra 53%, so it's 53% of that 70%. You know, which puts us up to like 95, 96, almost 100% is how it works. But as you can see, we can kind of fire off a few shots here. All the green shots are non-critical hits. Oops. But once we activate this and it gets up to 16 stacks, you'll notice that there's basically no green hits. And like I said, for some reason PlayStation's is glitched out. It will not show it in the display how much it's actually adding. For some reason, I think it's something they need to adjust in the update. But it is working. As you can see, they're basically all orange now. There might be one green hit somewhere in there. And as you can see, we're doing like 187,000 per shot. So we're dishing out a ludicrous amount of damage. I haven't beat Gluttony yet. As you can see in the corner of the intro, it's hard to find a group that can survive. But I almost beat Gluttony. I dealt out over 90 million damage to him with this build in about 4 minutes, and he wound up just getting overheated and nuking the whole squad, which is the trouble that I seem to have. I can't seem to get a good Valby on the team who will run cooldown. But that's neither here nor there. But the way I went with the build, basically, it's just as much skill cost reduction and as much survivability as possible. Since we're not really spamming our skills, we don't really need to worry about skill anything. Now I do have this in there just in case you want to use it. You will get a bit of damage, but we really have no critical hit rate on our skills, so we're not getting any of that. But we're getting 54%, and I tried to go as much skill cost reduction as possible with as little negative as possible. We do have a little skill modifier, but like I said, this isn't a skill build. We got 54% reduced skill cost, and you can see the rest here. A lot of defense, a lot of HP, some max shield, and we got this one in here. Now, I wish I'd had it. I haven't got it to drop yet. When I get it, I'm going to swap this out for shot focus, just so we get 15% more firearm attack, and this will just be, and it's already a C slot anyway, so this won't have to be recatalyzed. But I mean, this is basically it. We had defense, HP, and I'll try not to hover too much. And I went stem accelerant, which the max MP kind of down. Kind of hurts, but really I've had no issue with it most of the time, especially anything other than the final hard bosses go down so fast that you really don't have an issue with needing more MP. And I threw this on here for just the maximum amount of defense as possible. I got this shield mod. It's mainly just for skill reduction, but it does give you a little bit more survivability. And of course we got max conservation. We lose a little skill power, like, so we're not interested in skill power. And honestly, she's got so much modifier that you don't even notice it. And I got time distribution here for a little more HP and a little bit more skill cooldown. This could possibly be changed out for something, but I couldn't find anything else with skill cost reduction on it, so this it is. And strong mentality for skill cost reduction. And I've found that I really like running this one just because it seems in my testing that minus 13% incoming damage modifier is equivalent to throwing about 100,000 more defense on your build. So this one's really a lot of bang for the buck. And then, like I said, whatever sub module you want just maxed out. And honestly, I haven't even, like I said, I'm still one away from fully catalyzing this. So it's really budget build. I wouldn't want to completely build it until her Transcendent modules come out, because there'll probably be something crazy and you have to completely change up the build. Then that's one reason I didn't go skill build. I just kind of wanted to go gunner because I figured this would stay basically the same the whole way through. Now I did put together a mobbing build, but this is mainly, I would say it's more of a leveling build than a mobbing build. But this one is just basically getting as much skill cooldown as possible. We're not worried about cost reduction at all, so that you can spam her one ability as much as possible with HP collector on it, so that basically we can just hit this, and when we hit it, it's got like a 2-second cooldown, and we hit it again, 2-second cooldown. So we can basically just almost spam this one indefinitely. And I tried to do as much skill cooldown with those negatives as possible. And honestly, I've got the wrong, they weren't on rotation last week when I put this together. If you had a chill and dimension, it would make the mobbing side of it a whole lot better, because it is a dimension skill instead of a singular. But like I said, I just haven't went out and reformed it. But you see, this was a dimension, so actually you're not benefiting from that at all. But this one's kind of close to the same. Increase HP, defense, and we're still running chill specialist. We're still running strong mentality for a bit of cost reduction, and then the rest are kind of, we did dimension to get more modifier, because it's got a pretty low modifier at base. I mean, it's only like 93%, so modifier makes a big difference. Get some modifier and some more skill cooldown, this is just, I threw it on there because honestly I didn't level with this. I just threw it on there once I got it fully leveled, because I had space for it, and it's just a little more survivability. And your HP collector functions 9% of HP, so the more HP you have, the more benefits you get for running it, basically. But I mean, that's basically it. And like I said, and I just run this one for a little bit of skill, you know, this as much skill cooldown as possible. And we got multi-talented because this is a dimension skill. And you can look like here right now it's setting at a 4.3 second cooldown. When we actually click it and we go back into that, it drops it to a 2.7 second cooldown, and multi-talented lasts for 5 seconds, so we're getting the full cooldown for the full duration. So I mean, really we're getting like 66% cooldown on this skill running multi-talented. So I mean, you can basically just spam it to your heart's content. And in mobbing, when these hit, the way this functions, as you can see, he's got 9 stacks. When I shoot him now, he has 8 stacks. And you see it does an extra damage readout. What that does is add 50% to your next shot, and each shot takes off 1 stack on a regular weapon. So in a mobbing scenario, you just pop it with this, shoot him 9 times, you get 50% more damage, it's ready to go again. Shoot him 9 more times, 50% increase the damage, it's ready to go again. And basically you're just getting increased damage on all your shots, plus you're putting more damage out that way too. So it's very efficient. Honestly, I've done wave 10 and the farming, XP farming runs, soloed sections with this build easily. As long as you don't get cornered by anything, you can take everything out with ease. And with the Thunder Cage, it's kind of nutty. When you pop it up and get 100% crit rate on your Thunder Cage, every time you shoot and it crits for 100,000, the follow-up explosion around it does 200,000, so you're almost guaranteed for every enemy that dies is going to one-shot every enemy around it. So honestly, really good build all around. It's not very complicated, but it actually does extremely well. And as far as this goes, I am just running an Enduring Legacy mounting, and like I said, it's singular instead of chill, or instead of dimension, so that would be better for the mobbing. And it's basically just skill cost is the only thing I worried about. Now you could get other skills, but I think the main thing you want is just skill cost. And honestly, it's only 4.1%, so it's not a must-have. It's just a little more quality of life. And I need to change this back over. Now it does help to have a sensor that's got some max MP on it, just because she is kind of MP dependent on keeping your ability up continually. And then the rest of them are just same as every other one I've done. I just like double HP rolls on this one, double defense rolls on this one, and this one I like defense and max shield, and then whatever substat you want. Usually they'll only roll for toxic resistance, but you can get some other decent stats to roll on it, like shield recovery modifier, equipment drop rate, and such as that. But I was gonna go demo it right quick on Devourer, because he's like my favorite punching bag. Just kind of so. I've only run it once against him, but I mean, I did. Oh, I meant to show it. I've got some inversion stuff. It's just survivability. It doesn't really affect damage. But I did an 11-second run against Devourer solo with this, and I'll try not to be showing anybody's name much. But these are, and I thought about making a separate video, but these are kind of the best inversion ones I've found. I like to run the hunt one. It just gives you more max MP for each enemy you killed, so it ain't really useful for boss fights. But what I do like is it has no cooldown on it, so all you have to do is shoot an ad in a boss fight. It's active for 30 seconds with no cooldown. And with this one, you get a just straight up 4.1% damage negation. So, you know, every 30 seconds, if you want to pop an ad in a boss fight, you're keeping a constant damage negation. I like this one because every 150 seconds you're in a boss fight, you just get another straight up 2.7% damage negation up to 3 stacks. And I've got this one active just because every minute you will get one of these 3 effects, which is some MP back or some HP and MP back, just at random. So personally, I thought that these were probably the best 3. And if you haven't done it, like this one has a condition. It's active when an augment has happened. These are, the top ones are all augments. So when this is active, this is active. This one doesn't have a requirement. It's just active when you're in a void battle. But these do not have to be equipped at the bottom. Once you get to this level, they're just automatically active. So they don't actually consume one of your slots down here. So, I mean, those are just kind of like passive abilities that you can just gain from leveling up. And, I mean, that's pretty good in my opinion. Now, the only other one I thought about going for, and I would have to give up this one, is just when an ally is near, you gain like 14% of your health back just from standing close to them with a 10-second cooldown. That would probably be good in a boss fight. Like when you're reviving somebody, you're steadily regaining a bit of HP while the boss is pummeling you. So I thought about swapping this one for that one, but I just haven't farmed up the inversion stuff yet. But I thought about making a separate video on it. You know, if anybody sees it and they want a little more detailed video on it, just let me know. Let's say, because those are, I mean, most of them are kind of junk, but those seem pretty good. You know, damage negation is always good. Survivability means more damage. So we'll do a Devourer on hard mode here. I'll run it at private just to give a kind of a demo of what this will do. Now, of course, the Devourer is the easiest, and my gun's set up for fire. Versus Enduring Legacy is kind of set up best for fire. But if you really wanted to mid-max it, I guess you would say, you would want to like recatalyze one slot 4 times so that you could swap in the appropriate element for each boss fight. And I mean, that would just be maximum damage on any boss fight. But I do kind of like gun damage because it doesn't seem to run up their enrage meter as high. You start this so you get your 16 stacks before the boss gets here, and then just start wailing on him. And as you can see, we just melt him, and that's pure gun damage. That will function on any boss fight you're in. You don't have to worry about their resistances other than just swapping, other than just swapping which element you're running if you're running something. But, you know, Enduring Legacy kind of shreds fire resistance anyway. So, yeah, you could just keep it on fire and still do great. And hey, I was needing one of those. But yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to show the build. It's stupid good. And the reason I kind of went survivable, I meant to mention it before, is on this, like as you get 16 stacks, you also get a movement decrease. So for each stack, you get a 2.5 movement decrease, which is 40%. And you're supposed to get a knockback reduction, which means that you're going to stand there and take a lot of damage. So, you know, it makes you extra slow. You do a lot of damage, but you take a lot of damage. So that's why I kind of went as survivable as possible. And look at that, I was actually running the wrong build on that and still got, you know, a good clear time. As I said, I mean, it's just ridiculous how much damage it puts out, just straight gun damage. And as far as the Enduring Legacy goes, I got not God roll, but pretty close. You know, I re-rolled it for firearm critical hit rate. Now that wouldn't matter much on anything other than her. Other than her, I would try to go flat element on this. But with her, you know, a little bit more crit rate kind of really goes a long way, and definitely won't critical hit damage. Straight firearm attack is great, and damage versus Colossus is all. And mine isn't level 4 out of 4 yet. I've still been farming for it. I put it off for a while, and I probably shouldn't have, but that's neither here nor there. And as far as modules, maybe my timer won't go off on me. We should have enough time. But anyway, as far as modules, it's pretty basic. You're just basic action, reaction, rifling reinforcement for better, and then everything else is your basic 4 crit mods. Better concentration, better insight focus, and concentration priority. And then I've got expanded weapon charge, fire rate up, and sharp precision shot. And I tested it out, and I think sharp precision shot is better just simply because it gives you fire rate, less recoil, and 60% firearm attack after you get the 10 stacks. And the 10 stacks are honestly super easy. As you can see to the left, we run out of bullets. At half a second, it doesn't take long to build up. I mean, right there to 10 stacks. And for the other 100 rounds of the clip, you just got full. And it doesn't matter if you miss or not, as you see, it's still active. So, all around, great boost. Great boost. But anyway, that's the build. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. And like I said, if I forgot to mention anything, let me know. But as always, thanks for watching.